girls. Welcome to the Middle Tennessee Council's virtual campout. I'm excited. My name is Ryan, the science guy, and I am the director of the STEM Scouts program, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Math, as you can see on my shirt here. And today we're going to create an exothermic reaction. Let me ask you a question. What do elephants brush their teeth with? Elephant toothpaste, of course. And that's what we're going to make today. We're going to make an exothermic reaction. Okay, so in order for you to be able to participate and do this with us today, we have some items that you need to have. And number one, gloves, right? Safety first always. But before you start pulling all this stuff together, please ask your parents and make sure you have their permission it's okay. And make sure you have some type of a surface to work on. We have a drop cloth here, we have a runner, and we're using a tray. But you can use a box, a plate, something to use, but make sure you have your parents' permission and you have something to work on because this will get messy and it's going to be fun. Okay, so I'm going to put my goggles on and I'm going to walk us through the process here. All right, so what you're going to need to be able to do this experiment is you're going to need some hydrogen peroxide, 3% hydrogen peroxide. You can get it for 88 cents at Walmart. You're going to need some standard common dish soap. It doesn't really matter what the brand is. You can get that for about 89 cents at the local dollar store. And then some food color. I'm sure your mom has some of that around, mom or dad has that around, or your guardian. And what we also need is a 1/4 measuring cup, okay? And that's going to be for our hydrogen peroxide. Then you're going to need a funnel to be able to put the hydrogen peroxide in. So I'm going to set that right here. And you can also mix this in a glass, but we are going to use a beaker just for the sake of science, right? Because that makes it cool. I'm going to set this off to the side here. And then you're going to use yeast, okay? Because that's going to be one of our catalysts to make this work. And you need measuring spoons. But you don't need all your measuring spoons. You just need the 1 tablespoon measuring spoon, okay? And then you will also need something to mix warm water in, okay? So again, please make sure that you ask your parents for help and you have a cylinder or another glass, of course, you can use 2 of them, but you want to be able to measure it out. And what's the measurement? It's 1/2 cup. So you want to use a 1/2 cup measuring there to mix your mixture in for your catalyst. And then we're left with our beaker that we're going to use. Now, I'm going to ask my favorite STEM Scout, Elijah, to come on with me and help here. And so I'm going to walk you through the process and how we're going to do this. And we're going to create an exothermic reaction. And exo means outside and thermic means heat. So we're going to create an exothermic reaction. And what we're going to see happen here today is we're going to put the hydrogen peroxide in. We're going to mix it together. We're going to put the yeast in warm water. And what's going to create, be the subsequent result is we're going to create a reaction that's going to cause oxygen to be released at a rapid rate, okay? And then it will turn into elephant toothpaste because elephants are really big, so they need a lot of toothpaste. So that's what we're going to do. So Mr. Elijah, if you'd help me here, you're going to grab your funnel there, put it on top of your beaker or your glass, and you're going to get your 1/2 cup measuring there. You're going to open it up. And if you see Mr. Elijah while he's pouring that, he's got his goggles on, he's got a lab coat on, he's got his gloves on, and he is doing super safe. So it takes a little while to get that in there. You can open the lid off to pour it, but we chose to leave it this way just to be able to control a little bit better. And then he's going to pour that into the beaker there. Okay, great, excellent stuff. So now you want to take this off and you want to take the beaker off. And now Mr. Elijah is going to grab dish soap, right? And you don't need a super lot, but you want to give it just a little bit. And what happens is that this soap actually traps in the foam bubbles of oxygen that we're making and it slows the reaction down so the bubbles can stay trapped inside the heated reaction. Okay, so now we got that swirled in there. We're going to set that down. And guess what we're going to do next? We are going to choose our food coloring. So we've got red and blue. We're going to put them both in and see what happens. So you're going to take the lid off there. Thank you, Mr. Elijah. I'm going to take the other lid off where you're putting in there. Just put a couple drops in there. You don't have to put a whole lot. And we're going to hand you this one. We're going to do red and white. Hopefully we'll end up with red, white, and blue in the end, but we'll see what happens. Okay. So, all right, so we got our food coloring in there. So now next what we need to do is we need to create our yeast. We need to activate our yeast, which is going to begin to create the bubbles when it has and uses it for the catalyst. Okay. So I'm going to open the lid there, and Mr. Elijah is going to use that 1 tablespoon measuring cup there, right? So obviously this is a very difficult way to do it. So we're going to pour it right over the cup here. So if we have a little bit of spill there, we have it. Measure it out. Get it pretty close to 1 tablespoon as you can get it. And now we've got our measurement right. So it's just going to pour that in the bottom there. Okay. Now this is again. Remember to ask your parents for permission because you need warm water. We're going to take 1/2 cup of warm water. And we're going to pour it into our glass or cylinder or whatever you're using, okay? And then we're going to mix it in. Now, we've got a wonky spoon, so we're going to use the other end of it to make it easier to stir in there. And again, make sure you're not using your mom's favorite kitchen spoon, okay? Use something that you can throw away. She's not going to get mad about it. You can get them for about $2 at the dollar store, just to be safe that you're not going to ruin any of her good wooden spoons, right? Okay, so we're stirring it in there. We're getting the yeast. We're activating it. We're getting it warmed up. Okay, and now that we've got that warmed up in there really, really good, we are going to set it down. Now we're using a graduated gunner glass, but if you need to, you can use your funnel again to pour it in there. Okay, we're getting ready for our reaction. Okay, and Voila! And this is how elephants make toothpaste. Thank you for coming to the virtual camp. We look forward to seeing you again soon, and have a STEM-tastic day.